In this video, I share some key ideas about the Common Core learning standards in New York State. Incidentally, notice we have learning standards rather than Common Core state standards. And New York State revised the title of the standards to include learning because it added an 11th standard in literacy, and the 11th standard pertains to reading literature. The standards were never intended to replace the content standards in each of the subject areas where you're certified, but to supplement them. Although right now the content standards are being revised in all the subject areas. The standards really focus on results or outcomes, and they don't mandate how we teach. And you read stories in the press where people are saying, oh, they want us to teach a certain way. That's never been part of the standards. The standards have been outcomes-based. Students knowing how to write arguments, students knowing how to identify evidence in a text. And it's an integrated model of literacy. It's not skill-oriented, so you won't see, certainly not in the anchor standards, isolated skills in literacy, but rather the outcomes. Being able to understand key ideas, being able to write arguments, being able to summarize rather than break down specific skills in literacy. So my personal feeling is I like that. Although the schools aren't teaching them as such, media and new technologies are integrated throughout the standards. And it's kind of interesting, they're integrated into the writing standards more so than in reading. And this is a real important slide here. It's a shared responsibility for students' literacy development. It's not just for the English teachers or the ELA teachers. Science, math, social studies, health, all teachers are supposed to integrate literacy instruction into their disciplines so that all teachers will be teaching vocabulary, teaching the structure of text in their disciplines, how writing arguments or looking for evidence might vary in science as compared to social studies. And so for those of you who might be going for interviews in the near future, regardless of your certification, you're expected to teach reading and writing in that subject area. And that's very important. And the Common Core, notice by 4th grade, they want at least an equal or a balance between literary and informational text. So literary would be narratives, all right? Informational text would be expository essays, arguments, textbooks, right, reference material. And notice as you go through the grades, Common Core is asking for more and more uses of informational text. And Common Core asks for a focus and coherence between instruction and assessment. So the key thing here is what we teach is also what we assess. If we're teaching one thing and schools are the state's testing something else, there's going to be a mismatch and students aren't going to perform well. So all teachers need to teach argument writing. They all need to teach searching for evidence, constructing main idea, and so on. And I'm going to end this video right here. But again, I just want to emphasize the use of informational text and a shared responsibility across the disciplines for teaching literacy.